For thousands of years, humankind has been mapping out the world as we seek to satiate our curiosity about our known surroundings. From the ancient Babylonian clay tablets to the Greek sketches of a spherical Earth and the simple schematic maps of medieval times, cartographers have always been testing new tools and methods as they continued to survey our geography. When creating the early nautical charts, sailors would estimate their position by tracking their speed, distance, and time traveled using compasses and celestial quadrants of the night sky. This was the primordial age of navigation. Just like Metroid on the NES, a labyrinth-style game with no map. Yes, in 1986, video games were in their own primitive navigational stage. Nowadays, just about any game would have some kind of built-in map system, but not here. When you explore the caverns of the alien planet, you really have to explore it, the way an ancient surveyor would. This game wasn't here to pamper your ass. Aside from a vague and useless map in the instruction manual, you were on your own. So, find a pen and paper and get to work. And sure, later they added the map in the Game Boy Advance remake, Metroid Zero Mission, but I'm talking the original version. It was all up to you as you take control of the character Metroid as he explores the planet. Yeah, okay, nowadays it's common knowledge that it's Samus, one of the all-time great female protagonists in gaming, and one of the greatest protagonists of all. But when this game first came out, she was more of a mysterious character like Boba Fett. Her identity was kept hidden until the very end when she first unmasks. This was a pretty cool reveal for the time. Oddly, the manual refers to Samus as a he in both the Japanese and English versions. Whether the misgendering was by accident or an intentional ploy, we may never know. This game was a big deal to me at the time, and I even still have the footage to prove it.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, that was back when I was little nerd, before I graduated with a degree in garbage. It was a less jaded era. You could play a game without much need for criticism. I mean, come on, it's Metroid. It's one of the original Nintendo classics. It was groundbreaking in a sense that it offered a non-linear world to explore as you fight treasure trolls and armored turds while hopping across eyeballs and floating gumdrops. There is an innate satisfaction in upgrading your weapon and abilities so you can go back to areas which were previously inaccessible. It had a claustrophobic and isolating feel inspired by Ridley Scott's Alien, and the music is some of the best of the NES. From the spacey atmospheric title theme, to the upbeat rockin' Brinstar stage, to the haunting tones of Kraid's Lair. Overall, it's safe to say, the original Metroid changed the face of gaming. But there's one problem. It sucks. Yeah, that's right. It's time to show my face so you can see the sincerity in my eyes. You know you can trust a guy with pens in his pocket when I tell you that this game is a frustrating storm of I'll start with the most minor issues. First, you can't save your progress. Instead, there's a password system, which was common at the time, so I don't blame them. And I know the Famicom disc version had a save feature, but I'm talking the Western release, which is the one I had. These passwords suck. Now keep in mind, back in the day, you had to write them down. So you better have had really good handwriting and were able to distinguish clearly between upper and lowercase letters and numbers. Some of them, like G and L, look like they're in cursive. I'll show you some cursive. When you're low on energy, it beeps at you. Don't you just hate that? Nobody wants that. Yeah, I'm low on energy. Thanks for telling me. It's like when the fridge beeps to let you know the door is open. Like, yeah, I'm putting groceries away. Or when the microwave beeps when your food is done. But this is worse. It's not just any beep. It's a specifically irritating beep like a smoke detector on low battery. Ugh, make it stop. It wouldn't be so bad if it beeped just once or twice, but it doesn't let up. It's infinite. You can't play under that distraction, so it becomes an emergency to find some energy as quickly as possible. You end up playing recklessly, but it's best to just die on purpose so you don't have to hear that. It's hard to hit enemies that are low to the ground. Sure, you can roll into a ball and bomb, but there's no crouching shot. So if you're stuck behind a slow-moving enemy, it's like being stuck behind a cat. You know how cats like to get in front of you with their tail straight up in the air? Those little When you go through doors, there's a good chance an enemy is waiting, and they're impossible to avoid. I mean, look at that. That is broken right there. Sometimes they can even hit you on the other side. You gotta be kidding me. Sometimes they even bully you back through the door, so it's just so you can take even more hits. Don't you just love when you step into a room and you're dead on arrival? This is one of those cryptic where the do you go type of games. You always have to blast through a wall, or shoot up through a ceiling, or drop through a floor and go underneath a pool of lava or quicksand, or which would otherwise kill you. I wouldn't mind it if these were secret areas to find some extra power-ups, you know, a bonus. But these are required paths. Your only way to progress is to take one guess after another. It doesn't even feel like you're supposed to access these areas. Seeing the underside of the fire-breathing seahorse is just plain weird. Like I'm not even supposed to be here. Oh, and for the record, if you say that's what Nintendo Power was for, well, there was no Nintendo Power. The power wasn't turned on yet. The item upgrades are cool, the morph ball, the high jump boots, the screw attack, but the weapons are another story. You go from the regular beam, to the long beam, to the ice beam, which has its advantages. You can freeze enemies and use them as platforms, but when you're trying to kill with it, it's slow as Then you get the wave beam, which is the strongest, however it's unreliable at breaking blocks. Come on! Soon enough, you have to get the ice beam again, because the only way to destroy the Metroids in the final area is by freezing them, then using missiles. It sucks how you have to get rid of your wave beam. Instead of overwriting the previous weapon, you should have been able to switch weapons on the fly. I mean, sure, the select button is already being used to switch from your beam to missiles, but a simple menu of some kind would have done the trick. Now, let's talk about this game's most fatal flaw. Every time you die or load your game with a password, you respawn with only 30 health or energy. If you want to know how little that is, allow me to explain. When you start out, the maximum is 99, but along the way you find energy tanks which increase your capacity by 100 each. You can carry up to 6 energy tanks in total, which technically brings your maximum health to 699. So by the time you get that far, you do not want to die. Respawning with only 30 is a insult. You can gradually get your energy back by collecting these little orbs which replenish 5 energy points each. But farming for these things is an excruciatingly slow process due to how unpredictable they show up and the damage you take along the way, which neutralizes it all. You would think there would be a simple energy charge station or some area to refill your health. You know, like the Heart Fairy in Nintendo's very own Zelda, which was released prior to Metroid that same year, and even had a map and a save system, by the way. In Metroid, it's like, you're out of luck. There are no energy recharges anywhere. However, anytime you collect an energy tank, it will fill your energy to max, but that's only a one-time deal. So once you've already collected those tanks, your only option is to keep grinding for those orbs. You want to know how long this takes? Take into consideration, anytime you get hit, you lose more energy than a single orb. So you can't just mindlessly sit there and tap the button. No, you got to pay attention that you're not taking damage. Even when you get into a solid rhythm, the enemies only give energy at complete random. And every now and then, they stop giving energy entirely. How am I supposed to farm when the harvest has gone to I tried the bomb method, the screw attack. I've tried running out the door and back again, hoping it would reset. But they only give you orbs when they feel like it. When all's said and done, the time it takes to refill all 6 energy tanks is 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And I'm not even talking about refilling missiles. This is what you call broken. It is a broken ball-busting of a game. Oh, good. Energy tank. I need that. What the Oh, that's a cheap shot. All right, got the missile. Oh my god, I can't believe they did that to me again, you pieces of Okay. All right. Okay, dude, no. Oh, I'm not even going to try to get out of there. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Okay. Okay. Oh, no. Out of there. Get out of there. Oh, God. I can't jump up. No. I gotta make it. Just freeze one of the dudes and jump on him. Come on. Like, no. You gotta be kidding me.
Now you see what I'm talking about. And I haven't even talked about the bosses yet.
Thankfully, there's only 2 of these nuggets, unless you count Mother Brain. The first is Kraid, who's short and unassuming, but it's like messing with a porcupine. You just don't want to go near. They went overboard with these projectiles. There's hardly a damn thing you can do about it. But the secret here is that when your energy gets low, there's a hidden energy tank in the wall. This is a godsend, except for the fact that you're most definitely going to fall in the quicksand. And if there is any method to getting out of this would be the time for me to figure it out. But instead, I'll just keep tapping the button in a mad panic like I always do. Oh, come on. If I lose all my energy again after getting the tank, this is straight up embarrassing. Whoa! Oh, thank God I'm back out. Okay, so I beat Kraid. And next up is Ridley.
Come on. Come on. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, get up there. Get up there! Oh! Oh! Try the other side. Here we go. Get up there. Get up there! Oh, I found a safe spot. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is the spot right here. Here we go. Come on. Yeah! All right, I beat Ridley. I'm almost dead. All right, I know there's an energy tank in the next room. Oh, that's a cheap shot. 2. I have 2 left. All I gotta do is screw attack over there. Screw attack. No! Why did it work? It didn't work. Oh! Oh!
After you've beaten both Kraid and Ridley, you gain access to the final area. Here you face the Metroids, and as I already mentioned, you have to freeze them and then blast them with missiles. Switching back and forth only takes a split second, but it's a split second you can't afford. You could be busy hitting one Metroid with the missiles when another one approaches you. By the time you switch to the freeze beam, it's already latched onto you like a face hugger. In order to get these sons of off you, you just gotta bomb and roll around, I guess. You know what? You really just don't want to let it happen. Just don't. It is not an option. Sadly, you can't run past them. You have to kill all the Metroids because that's the name of the game, literally. Even worse than the Metroids are the nuclear onion rings, which spam the ever-loving out of you. These are among the worst pests of the NES era. I hate them with all my soul. The second you walk in the door, you take a hit. Trying to shoot out the pillars while avoiding these onion rings is impossible. They just keep knocking you all over the place. This final room is pure hell. I mean, this is a strong statement, but it's so bad, it almost makes Jekyll and Hyde look fun. I hate this stage. At last, you come to Mother Brain, a real mind. She's just a giant brain in a tube. Yeah, Contra has the heart, Metroid has the brain. I gotta admit, it's pretty cool. Yeah, this was right before Krang from Ninja Turtles and the Brain from The Brain. She wouldn't be so difficult if it wasn't for the damn onion rings. And look, when I say things are impossible, here's the thing. It actually is possible, which makes it worse because it's an incentive to prolong the suffering. You gotta do it. After all, this isn't The Last Ninja. This is Metroid. You need all the energy you can get. So when you respawn, you must do the full 30 minutes of farming. Now think about how many times you'll die on Mother Brain, then add 30 minutes on top of each playthrough. You want to know why these episodes take so long? It's a no-brainer. My advice is do not die on Mother Brain. The punishment is so severe it should have been illegal. You get to the point where you ask yourself, how far are you willing to go? Do you really need this in your life? Well, I don't care. I'm gonna beat it.
Here we go. Here we go. This has got to be it. Oh, man. Onion rings. Here we go. Come on. Oh. Yeah, no. Okay. Freeze him, freeze him. Stay frozen. Stay up in my way. See? Just need one more. Oh, come on. One more shot. I just need one more shot. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, I did it. Oh, get out of the lava. I did it. Wait, it's not over.
You have to escape the planet before it explodes. It's like the end of the original Alien, or like Beneath the Planet of the Apes. No, it's like Alien. You know, it's the part when Ripley sets the self-destruct mechanism and then has to race to get off the ship. Classic stuff. Woo, I made it. And I think I got the fair ending. See, there's multiple endings. Depending how fast you beat the game, Samus will remove more of her suit. But if you enter the password Justin Bailey, you can play in what's called the Zero Suit, which begs the question, who the is Justin Bailey?
Well, that's the original Metroid, a classic masterpiece. Oddly, none of its flaws have hindered its iconic status or the beloved franchise which it was born from. Well, next came Metroid 2, The Return of Samus on Game Boy. Now, in the old days, I would have broken this episode up into a big, multi-part thing, like Jaguar, Batman, Castlevania, all that. But now I tend to give you just the whole damn thing at once because I like you a lot. You would expect a portable version of Metroid to be a compromise, and while it obviously looks more primitive with its puke color scheme, you'd be surprised to know it makes several improvements upon the original. For one thing, you can crouch and shoot down while jumping. And what is this? Is this a save point? Yes, you can save the game! Plus, when you save, you start with whatever amount of energy and missiles you had last. It even has more than one save slot. How about that? Oh, and look what else. Charging stations. Ones where you can refill your energy, and ones where you can refill your missiles. Indeed, this is a huge improvement over its predecessor. However, sadly, there is still no map. But Nintendo Power was around by then, and they covered it twice in issue 31 and 37. They each had their own maps, which you can use to follow along. This would be the equivalent of the MapQuest days, yeah, when you would print out directions from the internet and take it with you on your drive. I actually used issue 37 for my current playthrough, and aside from maybe one small omission, I can say it's pretty comprehensible. Without it, you'd be screwed, because the mazes are very confusing, and the non-linear aspect is taken to the extreme, forcing you to spend most of your time backtracking. After you beat Phase 5, you must go back to Phase 4 just to get to Phase 6. The reason it's called The Return of Samus is because you're always returning to the same spots. The goal is to seek and destroy all the Metroids, but now they come in new types, Alpha, Gamma, Omega, etc. It's like a big frat house of aliens. Yeah, that's what this whole thing's about, a big Metroid toga party. I mean, the humor is pretty lowbrow, especially when the aliens start flashing their raw butts in the air. You get all the same weapons, but there's some new ones too, like the Spazer. The Spazer? I mean, come on, that's the geekiest word in all of science fiction. Not a laser or a phaser, but Spazer. What's the difference?
A laser emits photons, but a spazer is its nanoplasmonic counterpart with a different charge density.
That's my impression of a nerd. Yeah. Then there's the plasma beam. This one's similar to the laser in Contra in a sense that it's one straight beam that's powerful but kind of slow. And it's so thin, it's hard to hit anything. It's like trying to slice a sheet of paper sideways. And like the first game, you can't switch weapons, which means now that I've got the plasma beam, the Spazer is gone. The spring ball is an improvement because you can jump while in ball form rather than having to always drop bombs to blast yourself up. The next upgrade is the spider ball, which allows you to climb along the walls, and you have to do this a lot. I guess you could say this game is really balls to the wall. But the ball sucks. It never does what you want it to do. You press in one direction, and next thing, it goes the other way. Or it's not going anywhere at all. It gets stuck randomly, and after so many hours of suckage, you'd think I'd eventually get the hang of these controls, but I tell you, there is no rhyme or reason to how this thing works. And when there's an enemy coming, there's no avoiding it. Then there's the space jump, which later becomes the screw attack. The idea is you keep jumping to stay in the air. As long as you're holding down the jump button and with the D-pad, it should work. But for some reason, I keep falling down. I've tried hitting jump slower, faster. There is no rhythm that guarantees success. And there's parts where it's required to get through tricky areas and avoid hazards. With broken controls, you just gotta get lucky. Sometimes there's a spot you need to reach and you have the option. Should I screw attack? Should I spider ball? I don't know which is worse. Pick your poison. Screw it or free ball it. Either way, you're Oh look, there's an energy charge. You gotta get it. Go. Like the first game, it has lots of cryptic bullshit. Without Nintendo Power, there'd be no way I could have figured this out. What I hate the most are the one-way paths. Like right here, I went up and now there's a bed of spikes in the way. So to get back to where I was, I have to take a huge detour. And don't even get me started about the dark area. This is a common trope and I've never liked it. But here, there isn't even the faintest clue to help orient your position. I can't even tell if I'm moving or not. Let me tell you, rolling in a ball in pitch blackness is the stuff nightmares are made of. And as I've mentioned, farming isn't as much of an issue this time. You might have to backtrack to a charging station, but thank God for those. I find myself having to charge missiles more often than energy, and this is because the Metroids can only be harmed by missiles. And by the time you get to the Zeta Metroids, they take a lot of them. If you're fighting a Metroid and run out of missiles, there is no other option. The game says, F you, go back and farm. And they're stingy about these missiles. They only appear about as often as when you see meteors when you look up to the night sky. Don't even bother, just backtrack to the nearest charging station. The final area is a long, empty stretch, like Dracula's castle in Simon's Quest. There's nothing there, so what's the point? And I am so sick of doing this screw attack jumping. My thumb is about to fall off. Then I come to what seems like a dead end. But check this out. You're supposed to screw yourself up through what looks like solid rock, and next thing, you're stuck in a pool of lava or whatever this is. You can't jump out of it. It's like trying to pull a turd out of hot tar. I mean, what the f***?
Come on. Ugh. Oh, finally. Oh, almost broke my thumb. Should have broke your thumbs!
Then you gotta get the ice beam again so you can fight the regular Metroids. Yep, nothing's changed. So be prepared to use all your missiles. By the time you make it to the Queen, you've got nothing left, so you gotta backtrack to the charging station. So then you fight the Queen and, let's get real now, you're gonna die the first time, right? And it's a long hike to get back to the Queen from the save point. You wanna know something else? You can't pause on the Queen for whatever reason. Now listen. You're gonna run out of missiles, unless maybe you found every single missile upgrade in the whole game. So here's the real secret. You let her swallow you, then you roll into the stomach and use bombs. They take more damage than missiles, and they're unlimited. So after several tries, I beat the Queen, and then, in a key moment, a baby Metroid hatches and follows Samus like a child to a mother. And rather than destroying it, she takes it with her as she escapes the doomed planet. It's an interesting turn of events and is important to the future of the franchise. Like the first game, it has multiple endings. I got the basic one, but the idea is the same. The faster you beat it, the more naked she gets, and then the faster you beat it. Just kidding. I'd say Metroid 2 is vastly superior to the original, though it still has its flaws. But the third time was the charm. As the flagship title on the next-gen console, the Super Nintendo, the series was building to its true potential. Not just shooting for the stars, but blasting into intergalactic greatness. This is more than just a game. It's a damn lightning storm in a cartridge. There's games that are great, games that are amazing, games that are masterpieces, and then there's Super Metroid. It's not just awesome, it's like, you gotta be kidding me. What's so good about it? You just gotta play it and experience it for yourself. And that's why I'm gonna try to keep this short. Yeah, that's not happening. The graphics, the music, and atmosphere just blows you away. Right from that haunting opening title with the dead bodies on the ground, it grips you, and you know where. When you start the game, there's a brief voice.
The last Metroid is in captivity.
As a kid, it almost knocked me out of my seat to hear a realistic human voice coming from a video game. Yeah, things really came a long way since Ghostbusters! But aside from the opening cutscene, the story is told without words, as Ridley steals the baby Metroid from the lab. It's the visuals and subtleties that lure you in, exploring the creepy, claustrophobic caverns. Since the first game, that's the vibe they were going for, but this time it really comes to life. Everything has been improved. The control is smoother, now it's actually fun to move around. You can shoot in any direction and feel like you're not just controlling Samus, you are Samus. The buttons are mapped in kind of a weird way, like why would X be shoot, but you can easily change it. Save slots? Oh yes. Energy and missile charges? Thank you. A menu where you can switch weapons? Oh hell yeah. Missiles are not required to beat bosses? Bless the Lord. And a fully functional map system? Me sideways and call me Susie. It shows you where you are and where you've been as you uncover more territory. No longer do you have to print out directions or chart your course with a pen and paper. We had now entered the GPS era of gaming. This map system was so good that the designers of Castlevania took one look and said, yeah, we're going to copy that from now on. It may just be my obsessive-compulsive nature, but there's something satisfying about trying to uncover every space on the map, even parts that are unnecessary. The weapons and upgrades are all the familiar usual suspects, but with new ones to sweeten the deal, like the power bomb. Who doesn't love a game where you can nuke the whole screen? There's the grapple beam, which can get a little tricky sometimes, and then there's the X-ray scope, which gives you Superman vision to help with those cryptic areas. But my favorite new ability is the Speed Booster, where you can run like the Flash while annihilating everything in your path. There's even this cool move you can do in combination with the Speed Booster, where you can launch yourself into the air. Eventually they gave this a name, Shine Spark. I've mentioned the music, but I really gotta bring it home. This soundtrack breathes and pulses like a movie score. Every note is drenched in atmosphere and conveys the sense of isolation of a tomb-like alien world that swallowed you whole. It whispers at you as if things are lurking around the corner, and yet it's somehow relaxing like the aquatic area of Meridia. And then, when you get to the deeper, fiery region of Norfair, it's like hearing the choir of hell. The bosses are amazing. The door locks behind you, the screen shakes, and next thing, Kraid comes up out of the floor, and this is nothing like the original Kraid, who's shorter than Samus. This one is so big, he can't even fit on the screen. It's straight up terrifying. When you played this as a kid, these were like the monsters of your nightmares, the ones under your bed and in your closet, if only they'd fit. Crocomire is my favorite. You blast this guy into the lava, and his face melts. It's one of the most gruesome death animations of any boss at the time. Oh, and wait. Just you wait. It's not over. Oh! His skeletal remains lunge at you and collapse. It fools you into thinking that you have to fight him again, and you just gotta admire that. The final boss with Mother Brain is the stuff of legend. I mean, this is one of the most cinematic final scenes of the time. With only 16 bits, it takes you on an emotional roller coaster ride. I almost don't even want to spoil it, but it's probably been spoiled enough already. The glass shatters, you blast her away, and just like in the first game, Mother Brain is defeated. Or is she? As the screen shakes and everything blows away, leaving the two of you alone, the unthinkable happens. She rises with a full body.
Oh, holy
Think about how shocking this was. The first game established that Mother Brain is just a brain. But what's going on here? Maybe it's Daddy Brain. This was a totally unexpected final battle, and after a while, she blasts you to the wall with her deadly beam. It's unavoidable, spectacular, and devastating. You can no longer control Samus as she heaves on the floor. Mother Brain charges another blast to finish you off. This is it. It's all over.
yeah!
The baby Metroid, your friend, now grown up, comes in to save you, clinging and sucking the life from Mother Brain, turning her into a dried up corpse. Then the Metroid latches onto you and instead of draining your health, charges you back to full recovery. A true friend indeed. But wait, is that breath coming from Mother Brain? Hurry, Metroid, hurry! Oh, the way Mother Brain drools and stomps towards you sends chills down my spine. She blasts the Metroid over and over, and with the final blow, the room goes black as the Metroid destructs. What was once our enemy, now a friend, dying in a noble act of sacrifice. And as that sinks in, you hear that music, you see your body glowing, and you know it's time to kick.
Yeah! Yeah!
You can feel Samus boiling with rage and sorrow as she unleashes this newfound power she got from this Metroid. Yeah, with this whole battle, you get your money's worth. And when it's over, Mother Brain's body explodes into smithereens, the brain falls to the floor, you're left to stare at it for one last eerie moment as her mouth gapes open and she disintegrates. It's over, but you know it isn't. The planet is going to blow up again. The classic countdown echoes in your ears as you race the timer to get to your ship. You make it there, but uh-oh, it's too late. The planet cracks as its lava interior glows, and then, boom. The planet explodes as everything flashes into white light.
The very room you're sitting in lights up as you stare, motionless, speechless, heart pounding. And then,
woohoo! You made it! As that ship comes roaring through space toward the screen, ultimately to freeze frame, you know that you've just completed one of the greatest games ever. Do I have any criticisms about it? Well, maybe. Some of the bosses take a bit too many shots to kill. Sometimes it takes a little too long to switch to your missiles, especially when you have so many items to cycle through. The map is awesome, but with such a big world, it would have been nice to have a couple warp areas to get around quicker. And sometimes it can get a little cryptic, but nowhere near as much as the first two games.
that's all I got. You know that old saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all? It's good advice in general, but my job is to talk about the aspects of a game. So for me, it's kind of like the reverse. But when it comes down to it, I really don't have anything bad to say about Super Metroid. It's as perfect of a game as possible. They learned from their mistakes and they utilized the new technology to the fullest. It was called Super Nintendo, and they made sure to show you what was so super about it.
And while Metroid is now a franchise, having spanned over many consoles and generations, for me, it always comes back to that innocent time when they were still figuring it out. It was a vast, uncharted world that Nintendo was mapping through, like the early explorers. Video games have come a long way since then, but when you follow that nostalgic map, it all leads back to those early games. So raise your metal horns. Go ahead, do it. For real, do it right now. Put your metal horns up on the screen. Put them up for Metroid.